Across more than 25 years in medicine, there's a moment I've watched repeat itself. A patient in their 60s or 70s sits down in front of me and says, "Doctor, I walk every day. So why am I still feeling stiff? Why are the stairs getting harder?" And the truth is gentle, but surprising. Walking is one of the healthiest habits you can have. Yet for your muscles, your balance, your joints, and even your longevity, there are 5 simple exercises that outperform walking in ways most people never hear about. And today, I want to guide you through each one, not as a lecture, but as a roadmap to a stronger, more confident body. The kind that lets you climb stairs without holding the railing, wake up without stiffness, and walk with a kind of stability that makes you feel young inside your bones again. But before we go deeper, here's the single reason to keep watching. One of these 5 exercises activates a muscle group that walking completely ignores. Yet it's the #1 predictor of fall risk after 60. And most seniors don't even know it's weakening. We'll get to that soon. Now, I want you to feel comfortable with the information you're getting today. So let me ground this in what we know from research. Harvard School of Public Health notes that as we age, our muscles lose strength nearly 3 times faster when we rely only on walking. Mayo Clinic adds that without targeted strength and balance training, the smaller stabilizing muscles around the hips and ankles barely get activated at all. That's why so many adults over 60 feel wobbly, stiff, or slow, even if they walk every morning. Today, we change that. And if staying independent, strong, and steady matters to you, subscribe and stay informed. This channel is here to guide you with science and clarity. Now, let me bridge the science to something real, something you can feel. These 5 exercises are not about looking athletic. They're about everyday victories. Feeling steady when you turn quickly in the kitchen. Feeling powerful enough to get out of a chair without pushing with your hands. Feeling confident enough to walk across a wet floor without fear. Sleeping better because your joints aren't aching. And waking up with more energy because your muscles are finally doing the job they were built for. When you understand why these movements work, aging stops feeling like something that happens to you and starts feeling like something you can actively shape. You'll find all study links in the description. But for now, let me take you into the first exercise in our countdown. An underrated, quiet movement that wakes up a forgotten muscle responsible for almost every step you take. This is where the transformation begins. Let's begin our countdown with number 5. A movement that looks simple on the outside, but inside the body, it wakes up one of the most important muscles for stability after 60. It's called the standing hip shift. Most people overlook it because it doesn't feel like a traditional exercise. But here's what makes it powerful. Walking barely activates your lateral stabilizers, the small muscles on the sides of your hips. They're the ones that keep you steady when you step off a curb, turn quickly, or lose balance for a moment. When these muscles weaken, we see what researchers at the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity describe as side-to-side instability, a major predictor of falls after age 60. The hip shift corrects that, gently. Picture yourself standing tall, feet shoulder-width apart. You slowly shift your weight onto your right leg, not leaning, not bending, just letting your hip catch your body naturally. Then you glide to the left, letting that side support you just as smoothly. There's no rush. Your hips engage quietly, your ankles adjust, your core wakes up. It's like reminding your body how to balance again. Most seniors tell me, "Doctor, I didn't even know this muscle still worked." And that's the beauty of it. You're reactivating something that time tried to turn off. As you do this, imagine your legs learning to trust themselves again. Imagine walking into a grocery store and feeling your hips glide instead of wobble. Imagine turning around quickly in the kitchen without that tiny moment of hesitation. That's why I included this movement first. It's gentle, but it gives you control back. Now, before we go to number 4, I'd like to know something from you. Tell me your age and your country in the comments. It helps me tailor these tips to your stage of life, and I read every response. Let's move to number 4, a movement I've seen change the way adults over 60 walk within just a few weeks. It's the supported hip hinge. Most seniors avoid it because the word hinge sounds complicated, but it's the simplest, most important way to strengthen the back of your body, your glutes, hamstrings, and lower back. And here's the truth walking never tells you. Walking uses the front of your hips more than the back. But the back muscles, what we call the posterior chain, are what give you power to climb stairs, rise from a chair, and lift your legs without strain. A study from the Journal of Gerontology found that weak posterior chain muscles are strongly associated with slow walking speed, poor balance, and increased fall risk. The supported hinge fixes that safely. Imagine placing your hands on the back of a chair. Your feet are under your hips. You gently push your hips behind you as if you're trying to reach a wall with them. Your spine stays long, your chest tilts slightly forward, and then you come back up, feeling your glutes press the floor away. It's not a squat. It's a pure hinge, teaching your body to move the way it was designed to move before stiffness arrived. People tell me, "Doctor, this makes me feel younger in my legs. Why didn't anyone show me this earlier?" Because simple doesn't look impressive. But at your age, simple is powerful. Now let's transition because number 3 is the point where seniors often feel their first aha moment, when balance stops feeling scary. Exercise number 3, the heel-to-toe line walk. This one surprises people. It's not about strength, it's about retraining your brain. The Mayo Clinic calls this type of movement neural balance conditioning. It strengthens the small foot and ankle muscles that walking never fully challenges, and it sharpens the connection between your brain and your lower body. Here's how it works. You stand tall. You place your right foot directly in front of your left, heel touching toes. Then you walk forward slowly, one foot in front of the other, as if you're walking on a tightrope. Inside your body, something remarkable happens. Your ankles adjust, your toes grip slightly, your core tightens, and your brain fires balance signals that tend to weaken with age, especially if walking is your only exercise. NIH researchers found that heel-to-toe training improves balance nearly twice as fast as ordinary walking. And emotionally, it does something even more important. It gives you confidence. Because the moment you can walk that imaginary line without wobbling, you realize your body is still capable of precision. You're not fading, you're adapting. Now, I want you to stay with me because the next exercise in the countdown, number 2, is where walking simply cannot compete. It trains a part of your body that protects your knees, hips, and lower back all at once. And for many adults over 60, this movement is the reason they start feeling stable again. Now we reach number 2, a movement I wish every adult over 60 would practice at least a few minutes a day. Because it targets something walking simply cannot strengthen on its own, your deep, stabilizing core. Not the visible abs. I mean the deep muscles that hold your spine, hips, and pelvis steady every time you take a step. And the best exercise to reawaken them is the seated knee lift with posture hold. Most seniors skip this because it looks almost too easy, but the effect inside the body is profound. Sit on the edge of a chair. Your spine is tall. You gently lift one knee an inch or two. Pause for a moment. Then lower it and switch sides. That pause is everything. It makes your deep core switch on the way the Harvard Health Letter describes this as essential for fall prevention and spine protection after age 60. Over time, this movement helps you walk in a straighter line. It helps your lower back feel lighter. It helps your hips support you instead of collapsing inward. And if you've ever felt unstable when stepping onto an uneven surface, this is the exercise that fixes that. But now we arrive at the heart of the countdown, The movement that beats walking in almost every single category: strength, joint health, balance, mobility, and long-term independence. Number 1. And it's beautifully simple. Exercise number 1, the chair control squat. Not a gym squat, not a heavy squat, just a controlled sit and stand. Because when you think about the movements that keep you independent, getting out of bed, rising from a chair, stepping out of a car, they all come down to this pattern. Researchers from the Journal of Aging Research found that adults over 60 who practice controlled sit-to-stand movements age slowly in functional strength than those who rely on walking alone. Here's why. Walking is repetitive. Your legs move forward and backward. But standing up from a chair requires your quads to fire, your glutes to stabilize, your core to coordinate, your joints to align. It's the closest thing we have to a total body longevity movement. Here's how to do it. You sit on the edge of a chair. Your feet are planted. You lean slightly forward with a long spine. You push through your legs and rise slowly, not rushing, not using your hands. Then you lower yourself back down with that same slow control. That lowering phase is where your strength grows. This is the movement that lets you live independently. This is the movement that keeps your legs young. This is the movement that walking cannot replace. And I've watched hundreds of seniors tell me, "Doctor, this one exercise changed how I feel about aging." So let's bring everything home. 5 exercises, each chosen because they do something walking can't. Your hip shift for stabilizers, your hinge for power, your line walk for brain-body balance, your seated lift for deep core control, and your chair squat for total body independence. Piece by piece, they rebuild confidence. They rebuild stability. They rebuild the belief that aging isn't a decline. It's a direction, one you can steer. And I want you to remember this. At this stage of life, it's not about adding years. It's about adding movement to every year you have. Your body can change. Your strength can return. And your independence can last far longer than most people ever realize.